Okay, so I was working on a video about the Vestige of Darkness because I discovered some, I feel, crucial information to improving this helmet and also making the build feel good and usable. And also making it so it's like a zero button build, essentially, where you can just go around and have the Bodak kill everything. And it felt like really good before the most recent patch. And that crucial piece of information is that the Bodak is not a minion, it's not a companion, and it's not an ally. So scepters don't work for improving its damage. Companion and minion nodes don't work for improving its damage. The only thing that did work before the patch was monster modifiers because the Bodak is considered a monster. So if you actually would go and run a map like this, where monsters break armor equal to percentage of physical damage dealt, deal damage as extra fire, extra lightning, damage penetrates elemental resistances, increased monster damage, all of these modifiers would actually improve the Bodak's damage because it was considered a monster. After the most recent patch, that no longer seems to be the case because I cannot shock, I cannot ignite, and I cannot break armor. So that to me is a sign that when changing the helmet and fixing it, they ended up actually breaking this cool interaction where the more dangerous maps you run, the better the Bodak performs. That I thought was really cool, and now it just doesn't work. And the reason that they made this change is because people were not getting any XP when the Bodak killed enemies. And obviously to a normal person, that's a bug, right? It's like, okay, well, it's killing stuff, but I'm not getting XP. But the reason that they weren't getting XP is because the boss isn't an ally. It doesn't have any bearing on your experience at all. In fact, the only way to get experience with it previously was to put the Gravebind cuffs on because of this line here. Enemies in your presence killed by anyone count as being killed by you instead. Which worked with the Bodak, because once again, it's a monster. It's not an ally. It's not a companion. It's not a minion. And so this was the only way to actually get experience with this helmet equipped, if it is the main source of damage, if it's, the thing that's killing the enemies, right? So they fixed that in the most recent patch, but they ended up breaking the monster modifier aspect of it. So now you cannot affect the damage of the Bodak at all, and you can't have it be the main source of your damage. You have to, basically just put the helmet on and have it as a supplemental damage source instead of having it be like the main focus of the build, which is what it was for me. I literally have 0 damage invested in my passive tree. I'm pathing to defensive nodes, jewel sockets, all with presence area of effect. That is basically all that I'm spec'd into, is just presence area of effect and defenses. I have 0 damage on the build, but in the previous update I was able to easily clear maps like this because it buffed the Bodak. And it felt really cool, but it was also extremely dangerous because the monsters are doing a ton of extra damage to me. But now that doesn't work. So, and just to prove that it worked before the update, I'm going to show some footage of the Bodak breaking armor, shocking, igniting, bleeding, poisoning. If I have footage of all of these different effects, I'll show footage of that, just so you're aware that is possible. And, I don't have any mods on this Mistraven except for MAME. So the Mistraven shouldn't be able to apply any of those effects because it is a minion. It's not a monster, so it shouldn't be able to apply any of those effects. It's all just the Bodak that was applying those effects to the monsters. But anyway, here's the footage. Okay, so I've muted the audio in these clips, but this is me showing the map modifiers. You can see we've got damage as extra fire, extra lightning, extra chaos. We also have monsters break armor, and we also have chance to poison. So in the previous update, all of these things affected the Bodak's damage. So you can see immediately it's armor broken in a single hit, it's ignited, now it's shocked, and now it's poisoned. So that is how the Bodak used to work before the most recent change, where now seemingly none of these monster modifiers have any effect on the Bodak. So that, I think, is really disappointing. But anyways, that's it.